Studying about what are the different cycles or the path in which the photosynthesis takes place in the plant cells and how glucose is synthesized, the last part of this chapter will be the factors which affect the rate of photosynthesis. Now, there are different factors which will be considered here, external as well as internal, but there will be a value at which the maximum photosynthesis rate takes place. So that value will be called as an optimum value or the optimum range. Optimum value, the value at which, or you can say the point at which rate of photosynthesis is maximum. Right? Now there can be different factors which affect the rate of photosynthesis, as I said. Before studying those factors, now whenever Blackman was a person who had defined a law. These Blackman law says that now whenever there are more than one factors affecting a particular process, only that process or factor will be considered whose minimum value is going to affect the rate of the process. So to simplify it, if the Blackman's law is to be written, it can be written as the factor whose minimum value is affecting the rate of photosynthesis. Since here we are talking about the photosynthesis process, here the name will be given as photosynthesis. So out of all the factors which are affecting the process of photosynthesis, there will be one factor whose minimum value will always be required for the process to continue. Otherwise, the rate of photosynthesis will decrease. For example, if there is enough light available and there is enough carbon dioxide available, but the temperature is not appropriate, then there will be no photosynthesis taking place. If there is proper carbon dioxide concentration, proper temperature, but there is no proper light intensity, again there will be no photosynthesis process taking place. So let us see that how these factors they are going to affect the rate of photosynthesis. As I said, there will be two different factors which affect the rate of photosynthesis. They can be classified as external factors and internal factors. Now, internal factors will be, of course, the one which are being inherited by the parent plants, the genetic predisposition which is present already in the plants, and the way in which the plant is growing. In detail, we will be actually discussing about all the external factors which are involved or which are affecting the process of photosynthesis. Now, the first external factor that we'll be talking about is light. Okay, and light also will be talking in about three different aspects. One is the quality of light. Second will be the intensity of the light, and the third one will be exposure, or you can say duration of exposure. Duration of exposure to light. Talking about the quality, we know that photosynthesis is possible because of the pigments like chlorophyll A, B and carotenoids. So these chlorophyll pigments, when we were studying earlier photosystems and photopigments, we had discussed that these pigments they basically absorb the blue and red wavelength of light. So in the light that is falling on the leaves, okay, if there is only red light available and no blue or green light available, there will be no photosynthesis taking place. If there is only green light available but no the blue and red wavelengths of light available, again the rate of photosynthesis will be affected. So remember here, for quality what is required is the blue and red wavelengths of light, which are going to play a major role. Intensity we'll be talking about in a minute. Duration is generally 10 to 12 hours. Again, it depends upon the photoperiodism, right? There are long day plants and short day plants. So depending upon what is the requirement of light, the exposure time for the light may change. When you talk about intensities, of course, there will be plants which are affected by low intensities and high intensity. Let us plot a graph for this. If you plot a graph on the x-axis, if you take the light intensity, and here there will be the rate of photosynthesis that is taking place. If you relate the two, initially at lower light intensities, there will be increase in the rate of photosynthesis. But after a certain point, there will be no increase in the rate of photosynthesis, even though if the light intensity is increasing. So this is the optimum value of light intensity up till which the rate of photosynthesis will increase. At higher light intensities, what happens is the rate of photosynthesis does not increase. So basically what you see here is, out of the sunlight that is to which the plants are exposed, at 10% light intensity, saturation point is reached. So whatever is the sunlight that is falling, out 10% will be absorbed and then there will be saturation. And intensity more than that, there will be no photosynthesis process, or you can say rate of photosynthesis will be not increased at more higher intensities of the light. Okay. Now, the second external factor which affects the rate of photosynthesis is carbon dioxide. Okay. Now you already know that the amount of carbon dioxide or the percentage of carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere is very less. Even though that less carbon dioxide amount is enough for the process of photosynthesis to take place. Now it is generally 0.03 percent present in the atmosphere. So slight increase in these concentration up to, you can say, 0.05 percentage, the rate of photosynthesis will increase. At slight, or you can say only with slight increase, or the carbon dioxide concentration increasing to 0.05% in the near vicinity of the plant, the rate of photosynthesis will increase. Okay, but the way in which C3 and C4 plants, they react to the carbon dioxide concentrations is quite different. At low light intensity, if the intensity of light is low, both C3 and C4 plants, they will not respond. Okay, if the light intensity is low and the carbon dioxide amount is still available, there will be no response by the plants. That means there will be no increase in the rate of photosynthesis. But at high light intensities, both C3 and C4 plants, they will carry out, or you can say there will be increase in the rate of photosynthesis. But again, the way in which they are responding will be different. At higher light intensities, C3 plants, they will respond with a carbon dioxide saturation level at 450 microliters per liter. Saturation point for C3 plants will be 450 microliters per liter at higher light intensities, and for C4 plants it will be 360 microliters per liter. So what you see here is the C4 plants, they required at high light intensities, the carbon dioxide saturation for C4 plants is less as compared to that of the C3 plants. Whereas C3 plants, they will require high light intensity as well as more carbon dioxide concentration. Now again, here also, as I said, carbon dioxide concentration should be increased as in I have written the saturation points. It should not exceed much more. Otherwise, there will be more carboxylation taking place, which is going to destroy the cells of the leaf where photosynthesis takes place. The third external factor that affects the photosynthesis process is temperature, right? Now again, temperature depending upon in what kind of environment or what kind of habitat the plants are found, the temperature saturation or the optimum temperature may vary. For example, plants found in the temperate region, they require higher temperature, whereas those found in the tropical regions, they require less temperature for the process of photosynthesis to take place. The last external factor which affects the rate of photosynthesis is water. Now, water actually is always available within the mesophyll cells where carbon dioxide is going to react and form the glucose molecule. But if there is more amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, more amount of light in the atmosphere, then that can result in closing of the stomata. Okay, if there is closing of the stomata, again no carbon dioxide can be absorbed and so photosynthesis cannot take place. So basically water stress is going to affect the rate of photosynthesis, right? Closing of the stomata because of the water stress will not allow the carbon dioxide. It will result in closing of the stomata, and that closing of the stomata will not allow carbon dioxide to enter from the atmosphere into the cells, and as a result photosynthesis process will be affected. So these are all the external factors which are somehow affecting the rate of photosynthesis. Thank you.